Nothing overly exciting. I'm going to be going over the main menu in the settings because I think it's worth mentioning. That's what I look for as a person looking for videos on YouTube, but I generally don't find them. So let's go into settings right away. Graphics. We've got a plethora of settings. View distance. You can pause and kind of look here so that the video isn't super long. You want to put VSync mode off if you want to choose what frame per second you want. You go all the way to unlimited. And I tried VSync on, and that locks it at 30 frames for me, personally. If you've got an AMD graphics card, it can fix the purple grass in some instances by clicking on the purple grass fix. Controls. You can rebind your keys, nothing too fancy there. You can have toggle sprint, your wheel sensitivity. Is there anything else here? You can optimize the RAM or aggressively optimize the RAM. When you highlight over it, it'll tell you what it does. Sound is really neat because you've got your overall sound level. That's basically like sound effects, I believe. Then you've got your ambient, like the water and the birds and all that kind of stuff. The weather will be like from the wind and the rain. Music volume, completely its own slider, so I think that's really, really neat. And then the frequency at which the music plays. Interface, how big do you want it to be. Auto hide and chat. Show block info overlay, so when you go over a piece of granite, it'll tell you at the top, you need a level 2 tool kind of thing or whatever. It's really, really neat. Show the coordinates, show the mini-map. Immersive mode for first person or mouse mode. Window border, hidden language. There's a lot of languages here. And what's really interesting to note is it even tells you the percentage of, the completion for that language. So like Russian is 100%. If you're Ukrainian, about 55%. These are all the languages here. If you want to pause that and look at that really quick. And then just the developer mode. Now when we go into multiplayer, we can browse for public servers. There's a bunch of people playing the game, an absolute insane amount of servers. When we go to single player, and you highlight over the top one, for some reason the second one never works, but this one does. It'll show you all the options that you have, like how many days in a month, grace time, do monsters spawn right away, does it take 5 days, how does your food spoilage rate go, how's your tool durability, 100%, 400%, that kind of thing. When you go to edit, you can rename your world. Oh my god, that's amazing. You could copy the seed to your clipboard so you can make another world similar to it, where you could click right on create a new world with this world seed. You could run it in repair mode. What sucks though is you can't switch between creative mode and survival mode and all the different modes within the same map like you could in Minecraft. That is probably my biggest pet peeve. So let's say we go to create a new world. You can choose standard, exploration, wilderness, creative. This is obviously the easiest one. It's what you would expect from a creative mode. This one's really, really challenging. But ultimately, they're all the same in that once you pick standard, you can customize everything. World height, world seed if you know your number, game mode, survival and creative, climate distribution, realistic or patchy, the world width and length, millions of blocks all the way down to just a mere 32 blocks. World edge, traversable, or do you want it blocked? Polar equator distance, the temperature. Do you want seasons? If you have it on off, it'll always be spring. Days per month, 9 days, so that's 7.2 real life hours. You can change that all the way down to 3 days, which is 2.5 hours. Snow melt and accumulate. That's kind of cool. And again, when you highlight over it, you could read that there. It'll tell you everything that it does. Some games don't do that. So a harsh winter is just that. It'll damage your crops, reduce animal spawn during winter, and reduce meat harvested from animals. Your body temperature, the outside Temperature the player can withstand without clothing when dry and standing still. So you could change that -40 to +20. Global temperature, global precipitation. So this is a basically what kind of world you want, because in a way there's no like biomes. It's all like algorithms and stuff like that. There are different biomes, but it's not the way you're thinking in a Minecraft kind of sense. Forestation and shrubs again. You can have treeless world. You can have it on normal. Forest world plus 100%. So you could really go crazy with that kind of customization. The microblock chiseling, if enabled, the chisel can be used to carve and change the shape of blocks. Death punishment, drop inventory, or do you want to keep your inventory? Random respawn radius, do you want to spawn within 10,000 blocks, so kind of like an Ark Survival Evolved? Or do you want to set it to 0, where you'll spawn right on top of your body? The grace timer, again, no timer, how many days until monsters come. Creature hostility, aggressive, well, your standard wolves and drifters and all that will attack. If you have it on passive, they'll only attack if you attack them. And never hostile, you can beat them senseless and they won't fight back. Creature strength, you can make them deadly, 400%. So I guess that's kind of like where the difficulty is with the enemies. If you find them too weak. Player health, 5 hit points all the way to 35. Hunger rate, I usually slow it down because, that's just what I do. Your walking speed. You could walk fast, slightly faster, normal, slightly slower, slower, much slower. Block gravity, which block should fall down if they're not supported by a block below. Food spoilage rate. Sapling growth speed, how many days it takes for sapling to turn into a tree. Tool durability, you could set that all the way up to 400%. Your tool mining speed, all the way up to 300%. Pro pick node search radius. Surface copper deposit frequency, surface tin deposit frequency, global deposit spawn rate. Temporal storms is that weird thing because it's all like kind of like horror like a weird storm comes and it gets all like sepia color. There's these weird creatures. I don't really know much about it. I only seen it for a couple of seconds. And if something happens or whatever after the time, you get sent to another portal or something like that. It's kind of weird. I don't know all the ins and outs of it. All I know is you could change it. You could turn off temporal storms. You can have them occur, you know, you could see here, however often you want, and how long they last on top of that. You can have them only last a quarter of the time or twice as long. So there's just a lot of options. Temporal stability enables or disables the temporal stability game mechanic. I know there's temporal storms. I don't know what temporal stability is, but you can disable it. Coordinate overlay, your world map, if you want to be able to look at it just by pushing M, unlike Minecraft where you got to piece all these things together. Land claiming, that's usually like an Ark Survival Evolve like thing if you're playing online where you can pillar land. And then this I usually toggle on, allow underground farming, because if it's off, every meter below sea level incurs a 1 light level penalty, making deep farming impossible. And that's essentially really the gist of it. When it comes to the main menu and the UI, there's mods, but I haven't played around with that. Now you'll see that there's 3 mods here, but those are technically default mods from Tyron. That's from the developer, I believe. So the fact that you have a creative mode in the game, that's a mod that you can actually toggle on and off. Survival mode is technically a mod, and your essentials, like your world map, your weather, player entity, the AI, the how they behave, the physics, that's technically a mod. You can open up the mods folder. You've got your credits, all the people that are behind, the team. And that's pretty much it. There's not really much more to talk about. But if you have any specific questions that I didn't cover, I didn't want to make this 20 minutes long. Go ahead and ask me a question. I'll do my best to get back to you. So as always, if you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It greatly helps support the channel with the algorithm and making me more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up on the internet. If you didn't like the video, as always, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. I'll just put you on a wrist lock and snap it. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, I mean, naturally, that would be greatly appreciated. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and maybe I'll see some of you in the next video. Bye for now.